Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 3 of the new Bork podcast. Now, I know it's been a while, but we're back. Uh,
Oh,
so, yeah, long story short, it's basically we were on summer, we were able to record, but then this whole thing happened where I kept streaming, did it all day, every day,
I
and
think
then
what she's
school
trying to say
started.
is this whole thing is school came about, and now yeah.
Yeah, we had we
But yeah, she's been streaming a lot more lately.
yeah, I've basically just been doing a ton of stuff considering, just by myself. But, in terms of like the podcast itself, we plan to try and keep it as consistent as possible from now on, like probably weekly or a few times a month. So, no complete promises, but we're going to try and keep it consistent from now on. But yeah,
Ye-
that's kind of,
Well, uh, well, let's start off with, since we're already on the topic of school and stuff. How has school been for you?
honestly, I'll be honest, the schedule I have now is probably way better than last year, but I think the classes are slightly harder, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Um, do you take any AP classes by any chance?
No.
Okay, wait. At the end of your last year, did they like email you something where it's like, oh, I choose your classes for next year, and then did they say like, oh, do you want to take any AP classes? Did you get something like that?
Not an email, but in my
Did you
actual
have to like fill
school,
something out though?
yeah, they give you options too, but they didn't like make it clear at all.
Oh,
Yeah.
but was it kind of like, oh, do you want to take AP classes, something like that?
What they did is in certain classes they were handing out certain papers, and I don't think everyone got them. So they did like AP World History. There was like chemistry. I have a friend taking like 3 APs, and she's in
Whoa,
a sophomore. Like that's stupid. There's no way.
pretty risky there. Overachiever gonna take every single AP class before they even get to their junior year. But what happened was my freshman year. At the end of it, they were like, "Oh, we emailed a course selection for next year out to all the students at your school." I didn't know that until the last day of school. So I'm sitting in my homeroom. I'm like, "Oh no, oh no, oh no!" So I'm just rushing through. I'm like, "Oh, okay. What elective would I want to take next year in my sophomore year?" And I'm like, I'll put down all the stuff that I took this year. Can't be that difficult. I was wrong. Then I get to the part where it's like, oh, did you want to take any AP classes? I'm like, I took chemistry this year. I'll take it again next year. But I thought to myself, no, I'm not taking no AP classes. So I put down, no, I don't want to take any AP classes. And then they had a section that said like, oh, like which AP classes would you prefer to take? And I didn't put down any because I didn't put down that I want to take AP classes.
Right.
So I get to the whole thing, and then at the end of it, it's like a Google survey or Google Docs, whatever.
Mhm.
And at the end, it has like a little part. It's like, oh, is there anything else that you'd want us to know? Just type it out here. And I type out, I don't want to take any AP classes, but if I do take any AP classes, I would want to take AP Chemistry or this AP class. I don't remember the second one, but I know that I put down like some really easy ones because I figured it's some easy stuff. All right. So then, I'm on summer and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll check my email, my school email. I go to my school email and then I see I got an email from one of the teachers. I didn't know Google Classroom was a thing until the first day of school. And I didn't know this, but the email got sent out like the second day of my summer break and it had a summer assignment in the Google Classroom. I thought it was just saying, hey, if you want to take AP Euro next year, you can just accept this and then play the waiting game.
Mhm.
And then first day of school, I'm like, oh, I have AP Euro third period. And then my friend's like, oh, yeah, me too. Did you do the summer assignment? I was like, wait, what?
Oh
And then
my.
they're like, the summer assignment. So then he goes, join the Google Classroom. I'm like, how do I do that? Go to the Google Classroom, I join it. And then I look at this. It's like 12 pages of work. Annotate, take notes, answer these questions. There's like 25 questions. What the fuck? That's not even the end of it. Then I need to do like a whole 5-page timeline on what I don't even know. I'm like, oh my god, I should have done this. What the hell?
Mm.
And then the last one, I don't know if this one was optional, but it was like it was something really stupid. It was like, oh, practice your geography skills when it comes to European history. And I don't. It didn't seem like it was mandatory to do that part, but I didn't do any of it regardless. So naturally I go into school year, and then the first grade that's put in is my failing grade for the summer assignment.
Oh no.
And then turns out we had a test that I had to study for over the break on the first day of school.
Mhm.
Failed that too. Put down like 3 answers out of like the 42. I don't regret anything.
Oh
So now
my.
I'm starting off the year strong. My first AP class, and I have like a 45 in it.
Jeez. That.
But
Yeah.
my school also did a thing. Wait, did your school do? Did your school do this thing called AP boot camp?
Nope.
Lucky.
Yeah.
But
But
my school did this thing called an AP boot camp, where it's like all the students who said that they want to take an AP class or that are going to be taking an AP class need to go to it. And if you're not taking an AP class or don't plan on taking an AP class, you don't have to go. I didn't plan on taking an AP class. I didn't know I was taking one, so I didn't go. And now I have to go. Now I had to go last Saturday, but I'm not going the second Saturday because I'm not going to be in New York.
right. Right.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But on the bright side, even though I'm suffering heavily in AP Euro, I do meet the criteria to finally be freed of prison for a couple of like maybe 35 minutes to go out to a pizzeria for lunch if I want to with my friends. So
Really?
that's nice. Yeah, my school has this thing called like the star criteria or something like that. And it's really corny. It's like, oh, you need to have this average, you need to have that average in this class. You need to take at least one AP class. I'm like, I meet none of these except the AP class. What are you talking about? And then if you meet this criteria, you get a pass that you can go outside the school to eat lunch and then come back.
Mhm.
Now, my school is by like a Burger King, a pizzeria. So I'm telling my friends, yo, if you guys bring your bikes to school, we can just bike over to Burger King and
Mhm.
then just that's it. But
Nice.
none of them are scholars like me. So none of them are failing an AP class like me.
I,
But me failing AP class isn't that bad because apparently getting a low grade in an AP class isn't as bad as getting a passing grade in a normal class. So it doesn't mean much to me.
I mean, the only thing I can probably relate to in that story is the fact that like my in ninth grade, I think for one or two of my classes we were forced to use Google Classroom, and the homework were out of like 5 questions. This is for my biology class, and
Wait, you
like
took biology?
last year, yeah, living environment.
Oh, I was gonna say like, wait, what's biology now? Like I took chemistry.
Yeah, so I don't know, like we had to do the homework was out of 5 questions, and if you get one wrong, like two wrong, I don't even know. If you get like half wrong, it's like a really bad grade, and it was so bad because the teacher had a certain format for the entire thing. So I don't like Google Classroom. That's bad.
I see. Wait, so you took living environment last year, right?
Yep.
Then what do you take this year?
Chemistry and geometry.
Wow. How are
Yep.
you doing in geometry?
So far, it's not bad. I mean, there's parts of it that are confusing. Literally, are like sometimes they just don't make sense with the angles.
Oh
But
boy.
I probably could have been taking physics and trigonometry this year if I took chemistry and geometry last year, which could have been a possibility, but they did not offer me the regions in 8th grade at all for both. So that was really
See, the
dumb.
thing with me is that I 100% would be taking trigonometry or AP calculus this year, but
Mhm.
I'm not, thank God. But I 100% would be taking trigonometry or like one of the other math classes this year, but I didn't like in middle school, I didn't take any state test. And
Oh.
in my middle school, I don't know if I'm assuming it's probably, everywhere, but
Mhm.
if you don't take the state test, you can't take the regions for that test, which, it's understandable. So
Mhm.
I didn't take the math test. I didn't take the state math test. I didn't take the state English test. I
Mhm.
did, however, take the state science test, and that was the living environment test. And then come the regents for the science regions. I pass it by 1 point, putting me into chemistry. So I'm thrown into this like, yeah, I know that the neutrons don't have a charge. And then I'm just like, wait, no, that's not right, is it? And then I'm just sitting there waiting for like a lesson to go by and be like, ah, yeah.
Mhm.
But if I had taken the state math test and then the math regents, I probably would have passed it in middle school, and then I would be put into geometry freshman year, and then now sophomore year I'd be taking trigonometry. But
Mhm.
I'm not. But since I passed chemistry last year with like I think like a 95,
Mhm.
now I have physics,
Yeah, my friend
and
has physics.
that's a no no. At least for me, because like when it comes down to like science and stuff, I don't. I'm. This is gonna sound really really stupid to me, and I don't know if like everybody agrees with this, but I fucking love science. Like, I don't know about you. Do you like science?
I like um more like I think living environment based science.
Hmm.
I don't know,
I don't
just
know.
interesting.
It's just there's something about science that just like what the fuck, man. It's just like when you come into class, it's like when I walked into chemistry, I didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Mhm.
Walk into class, like, oh my god, I'm so excited to actually learn something. What? Then I'd go to gym next period, like, oh my god, I can't wait to sit on the bleachers or play handball outside. What? It's
Yeah, I mean, I don't
like,
like the math aspect at all, but
oh hell no.
I'll tell you this, in chemistry, there I find it bad and good. It's interesting because of the elements and crap and whatever it is,
Yeah.
but I don't like it because of the math you have to do. Like, I'm learning right now about significant figures and rounding
Oh
shit.
boy.
Jeez. It's
Wait,
just
are you
like
talking about significant figures in math or chemistry?
chemistry.
I remember that.
Yeah, but the cool part is to show an example, my chemistry teacher actually took a stick of magnesium and lit it on fire and it was like so bright. It was and then it fell on the floor and I don't know. It was just all I'm saying is don't light a piece of magnesium on fire because it'll blind you. But yeah.
See, in my school, since okay, so my school building, it has three. Or, the campus itself has like it's a big building and it has a lot of floors.
Mhm.
So it has three schools in it. I go to the one on the bottom, so I don't need to walk up all the stairs every day.
Mhm.
But when I was taking chemistry, since my school doesn't have the lab, what would happen is sometimes when we do like when we do a lab, we would go up to the fifth floor and we'd use the school up there's lab.
Right.
And I didn't know this, but that how like in the thermometers or whatever they're called, they have
Mhm.
like the red stuff, right?
Right.
I was curious. I was like, what is that? They go, it's mercury. I was like,
Yeah.
what's that? And then they go, oh well, it's a pretty dangerous substance. Like if that thermometer were to break open and the mercury would be falling on the floor, then we would probably have to call the fire department. I was like, whoa, really? And then I nearly dropped it.
Yeah,
And
I
then later that day, the other chemistry class happened to go to the same place, and they happened to drop one. I don't know what happened after that. I don't know if the fire department got called because I didn't see any firemen rushing upstairs or climbing on the side of the building like they're Spider-Man. So I'm assuming nothing happened. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
I see.
Does your school have these things called TAs, teacher assistants?
I don't think so.
Wow, your school's like boring in every aspect that mine is interesting.
The only thing about my school that's cool is the fact that we have a completely separate building for like mainly science and like lab classes, and in order to get there you have to go across a bridge. So it's like a small
Hope I
bridge.
don't fall and drown.
No, but it's like connected through the building, so it's like a tunnel bridge thing. It's
Oh,
really
that's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, that's the only really cool part. Other than that, I don't like that my school has like 4,000 kids. It's annoying.
Yep. Yeah, since my campus has three schools and the other two are far more popular and much more wanted than my school. There's like I think like only 1,000, maybe even just 500 kids in my school, while the other ones have like 1,000, close to 2,000. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Damn.
But yeah, but the reason I asked if your school does like TA stuff is because my school does TAs, and it's pretty much where like they'll pretty much say like, oh, your schedule matches up with like this teacher's schedule, so you can be a TA for that class.
Mhm.
And then you go in and you go in, you help them grade, you help them do the attendance, you help them give stuff out, or just sometimes you don't do anything.
Mhm.
So I'm a TA for my English teacher's class, and it's like I understand that if you're new to a school, you're gonna be quiet.
Right.
But this class of freshmen is just dead silent. It's gone like I told James this. I was like, "Oh, James, I'm a TA for an English class too, because he is too."
Mhm.
And then he's like, "Yeah, all these sophomores and shit like that. They're such dickheads." And I'm like, "Yeah, these freshmen don't even talk. It's gotten to the point where it's like I'm about to fail them if they don't even say good morning to me." It's like
Mm-mm.
they just don't talk. Like, and they will talk so much in that hallway. The minute they step into class, dead silent. It's like, who are you?
Yeah, I can see that happening. Sometimes like in a class, the kids are so quiet, and it's like eventually they'll talk, but I don't know about those freshmen.
Yeah,
So.
like I mean, luckily, the teacher that I TA for, when he notices that like everybody's quiet, he somehow finds a way to make them talk, because like
Mhm.
he's it's I don't know how to describe him. He's a work of pure fucking art. I apologize. I'm swearing quite a bit. I don't know. When I'm talking about school, it's just
Yeah, understandable. Also, if
a lot of flashback.
some people might not know a lot of things we're talking about, that's because it's New York education. It's like really different.
The wonders of New York education, where
Yeah,
we go to school and like a tsunami.
yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding you. There was one time in like elementary school where there was like okay, I don't remember know if you know this, but like you know how like in the winter when like the wind is like really like bad and then it's snowing and then it's like raining and then all of a sudden like hail starts coming out. It's like, yeah, this is fine. You see on the news it's like negative 25 degrees. Hail is falling from the sky, rain is coming down from the sky, it's snowing. And then like you just watch and it's like, yeah, schools are not gonna be open. And it says all New York City schools are open.
Oh yeah.
It's like I didn't like I'm like what 5 years old. I can't be trekking to school in
That's happened
snow
a lot.
that's like deeper than the Mariana Trench. Like
Yeah. I mean,
I only just learned about that place too.
really?
Well, not really, but it's come
Yeah.
up in a couple of my top classes as of lately, and I've only just started to learn more about it.
Right,
I've
right.
only known that it's like the deepest part of like the ocean or the world, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, but like that's happened like so often to the point where when people show up to school on those days, literally nobody shows up, or not that
Yeah.
many people.
Like at one point, what happened was, this was middle school. Like the weather was horrible one day, and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go to school. And I woke up the next day, my mom's like, Devin, come on, get ready for school. I'm like, I ain't going to school in this weather. I ain't about it. And then I'm going on my Snapchat, and I'm just like, yo, who's going to school today? Like, not me. And all my friends are texting me. It's like, dude, why aren't you going to school? I'm like,
Oh.
this weather, I'm just not about it. And then all of them are saying like, yeah, we're in school right now, we're doing a lot of work. I'm like, why? Like nobody's there. They send me pictures and stuff. It's like everybody's there. I'm like, am I the only one that didn't go to school?
Oh yeah.
But then
Sometimes.
it was so nice because then I could just sit there and watch their snap stories about them complaining about how cold it was while I'm sitting here nice and toasty in like 15 blankets watching Netflix. Oh,
Oh my.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, sometimes I like it really depends. If it's really severe weather, I'd stay home, but if it's good enough to where I can actually go to school, because for me, my dad has to drive me to the train station, then I have to take the train to a certain stop, and then either take the bus to school or walk. And the walk is like 10 or 15 minutes, and the bus takes like 10 minutes. So it's it depends on the weather because I have to take a lot of transportation for that, and it's just like I'm not trying to do that in bad weather. So,
Yeah, what school and me and transportation wise. when I used to go to like, okay, elementary school, pretty much every day I would get driven because I was when my brother was still in school, and he, like me and him, we went to schools that were like pretty far apart. But the school I went to for elementary school, it was like down the block from me. But I'd
Mhm.
still get driven because my brother would then have to go at the same time. So it was just like, oh, take Devin to school, then take Corey to school. There you
Mhm.
go. Then come middle school, that was like around the time when like my brother, he finished school.
Mhm.
So he didn't need to go to school no more. He just had to go to work, which wasn't that far, so he didn't drive there.
Right.
But my parents were like, oh, if the weather's really bad and school's still open, then we'll just drive them there. So for the most part, I walked to school. But then other days, it was just kind of like, I see how it's gonna be. Just gonna get driven to school. I'm gonna step out of the car, just get hit with a big ass rock on the head. It's fine. But now it's like my all the schools that I've gone to were like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Mhm.
And this one that I go to now for high school is like, 10, 15 minutes.
Mhm.
But it's like I walk with my friend because he lives like a block from me, and he's always wanting to meet up by a church by. So I meet him by the church, and I'm walking, and then he has to stop at like every single corner store. It's
I
like he
hate
doesn't
that.
even buy
Oh, I
anything.
hate that. Like on the way home, I'll occasionally, I don't walk with my friends all the time, like to the train to go home. But when I walk with them, they will walk 1 mile per hour, and then they get to the delis and they start looking throughout the store for like 10 minutes. Go to the next one, and they don't get anything, and they go to the train.
Exactly.
I'm just like, I want to
Like
go home.
what my friend does is whenever we're walking to school, it's New York, not the cleanest of places, not the best of places, especially if you live in these tiny ass neighborhoods where construction's going on 24/7. You got these fucking kids running around with their graffiti and shit, like, oh yeah, I'm in a gang, you
Uh,
know,
yeah.
but like, you got kids running around like that, and then my friend that I walk with, he'll see like a sandwich on the ground. He will see that sandwich. He will analyze it on the spot. He'll be like, that's Italian meat. How could they just do
No
that to
way.
Italian meat? I'm just like, what do you mean? That's why does it matter if it's Italian meat? He's like, that's garlic bread, dude. Why would dude? It's like he gets so like annoyed when he sees like a sandwich on the ground because he analyzes it. I'm like, why do you know this stuff? And then like on the way back, like sometimes on like some days when like I decide like yeah I don't want to deal with him, I'll walk home by myself and I'll just leave without him. And then other
Mhm.
days when I feel like yeah I can tolerate you, I immediately regret it because then on the way back he stops in each corner store that we see and then he buys a sandwich from each of them and then I need to sit there waiting. He's like, Devin, did you want something? I'm like, no.
Oh my god.
He comes out of the corner store, takes a bite of it. He's like, it's not Italian meat. It's like, what's with you in Italian meat?
Oh my.
It's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I can really say for school stuff. Not much has really happened.
Yeah.
Actually, dude, I have a Spanish class first period most of my days, and this one kid that I'm friends with, him and his girlfriend were like the talk of the school last year.
Yeah.
Everywhere you'd go, you'd hear Joshua and Isabella. It's like I don't give a fuck about either of them. So like I'm friends with both of them, but it's like if they're mentioned in the same sentence, I don't give a fuck. Just don't mention it. Just say one or the other. That's it.
Mhm.
So then what happens is over the summer, Isabella finds out she's taking an AP class, AP Euro, and apparently
Mhm.
that's one of the hardest classes AP wise. So they break up because she doesn't want to have to deal with the stress of him and that class. I don't really care.
Mhm.
So I'm in Spanish, and my friend and Joshua comes up to me. He's like, "So Devin, I don't know if you know this, but me and Isabella broke up." I'm like, "Oh really? Why?" As if I didn't know. Then he goes, "Oh yeah, she just said she couldn't deal with the stress of me and AP Euro." And then he goes, "Do you have AP Euro?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's in my class." And he goes, "Is it stressful?" I'm like, "I don't know, dude. I missed like 2 days of it already."
Oh no.
So like everything that he asked me was just too perfect, and it was just like I already know all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, now apparently now word around the school is that they got back together, and I'm just like, yeah, because I care.
Yeah. I hate
It's like
that kind of
if
stuff.
it's outside of my little circle of friends, don't really care.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That is pretty much everything about school. But I guess we can move on to like what we're doing individually. I know we probably covered this in the first episode, I'm pretty sure. But in terms of streaming and designing and stuff, I will right now I'm trying to stream daily even with school. The only thing is that I come home around 4:30 and I go to sleep like 11. So, I don't have all the time because when I come home, I don't do anything for about an hour or so, and I can't just get on instantly. So, what I'm gonna try and do for,
Wow, you're not dedicated to streaming. Can't get on every day at an approximate time.
I mean, listen, okay,
Unbelievable.
I'm trying a new thing where from now on, like as soon as I come home, I'll wait like 30 minutes. I'll get on my computer. I'm gonna start streaming immediately, do IRL, and then play Fortnite, and then just keep
Wait, what do you
streaming
mean
until
by
I go to
doing
sleep.
IRL?
Like you know the IRL category?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What,
So
like you're gonna stream with like face cam on and all that just for a little bit?
yeah, because that if I don't want to like play or anything, I'll just be looking at stuff, watching videos, and waiting until people join the chat and want to talk and whatever. Because it gives me like a reason to stream to talk to other people and just it's kind of like I'm streaming what I'm doing every day. So it's like a really interesting thing that I thought I could do, and then I would stream until I go to sleep or until I feel like I want to get off. So you know, I'm gonna try that probably starting today or tomorrow. Um, and in terms of designing, I wanted to try and get into more, not like art, but more, um, what is it? I guess drawing and stuff is another thing I might want to get back into. So
Didn't you used to do drawing a little bit?
yeah, I
Whatever
did, but
happened?
I don't know. I never really got back into it. I was mainly focused on playing games, but I think now I want to try and start it again. So, so
Yeah. I remember when you actually posted a couple of your drawings like every now and again on your Twitter. I don't know if it was on this one that you have now or one of your three previous ones. I don't know if I counted it.
come
But
on.
yeah, I
I
don't
didn't have
know.
that many.
No, I'm joking.
I
But I don't remember which account it was. But because you posted one and it was really good. And I was like, I don't really see the style often. But then again, I don't follow very many artists, so I could be very wrong.
Mhm.
But it was like really nice, and I think I responded. I was like, oh my god, you should keep doing this style. Yes, and then you never did it again.
I mean, I don't know. It might have been on my current account. It might be lost somewhere in my tweets, but I have a ton of art saved that I did do, so I'll probably look at more into that and see what I've
Yeah,
done.
the art that you posted, and I said like you should keep trying to do this style. It was when you were like, oh, I'm using a different program to draw instead of like the
Oh,
one that I normally use. I don't
yeah.
remember what it looked like though, but it was really nice.
I can actually see if I have it, but but yeah, that's just one thing I'm considering trying to get back into. Uh,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, is that all you have to talk about for like streaming, like designing and all that, or art? Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, as for me,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm still trying to get with there.
Mhm.
So that's always nice. I definitely feel like I've made a lot of progress though, because now it's gotten to the point where it's like, what you call it? Like every now and again, I'll get a like from a dare member. Just like it doesn't have to be a tweet that like means anything or that's like graphic related. It's just I could tweet something like, "Good morning, gamers. Time to get that bread," and then like I'll get a like or two from one of them.
Mhm.
It's not. It doesn't. I'm trying to figure out a way how to say this. Um, like it's not something big, but it does, it does make me feel like, wow, I've made so much progress if I've gotten to the point where I can just do that and then they'll see it or notice it. So
Mhm.
it definitely means a lot.
Right.
And especially now that like I'm still doing like I'm actually waiting on like commission details for someone.
Mhm.
Um and then someone else DM'd me about a header cost, and I got back to them with the price as soon as I could.
Mhm.
But the only issue that like that I have at the moment with when it comes to designing isn't really like besides getting like creators block or design I don't creative block I think that's what it's called.
Mhm.
Just not being able to think of like a theme or an idea for a header. It's like
Right.
that's probably one of like the bigger issues I have. But aside from that, it's kind of hard to like actually make some form of money off of the designing stuff when everybody who DMs me about like, oh, can I buy some graphics off of you? And then like when I message them the price, they're like, where'd you go? Like someone messaged me back in August, like, oh hey, how much for a header? I said, I told him the price, and then he only just responded to me like a week and a half ago.
Oh my.
It's like, what happened, man?
Yeah. I don't know.
But besides that, it's just kind of like I rarely have anybody who DMs me and they're like, "Oh, can I have art?" And then when I say that they have to pay, they're like, "Oh no, that's stupid," or "Oh, you charge too much." Because if you ask me,
Mhm.
I at least I've definitely grown out of this mindset. I used to think that all the designers charging like $50 for a Twitch package were like fucking insane. I was like, nobody's gonna pay for that. But then I thought to myself, for the most part, these designers aren't really charging for like, oh, I want a lot of money.
Mhm.
As like I got to become more of like I don't want to say professional as in like, oh yeah, I'm like I do this for a living, I make thousands of dollars off it, not like that professional. I'm talking about like as I got like more into designing as like the years went on. I noticed that it was like they're not doing this because they want to make money, they're doing that because like they put a lot of effort into it and it takes a lot of time, and people aren't going to pay for something that you can make in like 5 minutes, and they're not going to pay like 30 something dollars for it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So over time, like I slowly raised my prices because before, when I used to do designing and all that,
Mhm.
I would either like this is like when I was still like doing Minecraft designs.
Mhm.
I got quite a few like commissions on that, but when it came down to pricing, that's when like stuff started to like you know go south or whatever. Because
Yeah.
it's like they'd be like, oh, how much for my banner, man? I'd be like, oh, $10. They'd be like, that's too much. I'm gonna go to DSR or DRS, whatever his name is. Like, I'm gonna go to DRS or DSR. I don't know what his name is, but they were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to someone in Summon Studios. It's like, oh, okay, you're gonna be paying more from them than you are from me.
Mhm.
It's like I didn't have an issue if you charged a lot, but it's like it's fucking Minecraft, dude.
Yeah.
Like it got to the point where it's like Minecraft graphics got so fucking ugly.
Mhm.
Like I was fine with the whole like, oh yeah, here's a fucking Minecraft rig with fingers and a nose and a tongue and teeth. It's like I didn't care about that. Then people started adding realistic hair, realistic
Oh.
fingers. It's like why? Why
It
is
just
this even a
looks
thing?
too weird. It's just not fitting, I don't think.
Yeah. And then it's like I'd make tweets about this, and then people would actually like come at me and like hate on me, like, "Dude, you're just mad that you're not as good as them." It's like I don't want to be as good as them if that's what they're fucking making. Like, no disrespect to any of those people, but like, what the fuck were you thinking?
Yeah. What?
Like the people who actually made or actually make good graphics, I feel like they don't get noticed as much as like the people who do make like really good graphics, like these smaller people.
Oh
Like
yeah.
obviously I could be really wrong, and I probably am for the most part. But it's like I've seen such small designers make such amazing work,
Mhm.
and they're just not noticed at all.
Yeah, I see.
And
I
that's
see.
that's the one thing that like when this is gonna sound really stupid, but at the end of the day, when I think like there is my ultimate goal, it's just I've wanted to do it for so long. At the end of the day, when I think about that, I just think to myself, if that day ever does come when they say, "Oh, we want to welcome Kuro to the their artistry," the only thing I think about after that point is just, what if all the replies or majority of the replies are just like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" It's like that's like it worries me because I don't want to like join my dream team and then just still get hate from it. It's like I accomplished my dream, yeah. I got what I wanted. and now it's like I need to work even harder. But then it's like I don't want to accomplish my dream or accomplish my goal and then just get hate for it because it's like I feel like people they see someone they're like, oh, he doesn't have that many followers, he's not like he doesn't deserve this because I feel like that's what people base stuff off. It's
Mhm.
just it's really stupid. It's not like, if you ask me, it's really not a good way of going about things. And I've noticed this more and more of these teams are starting to pick up these smaller people, and it's really like I think it's a great thing. It's like it
Mhm.
used to be like, oh yeah, you have to have a minimum of 1 million followers on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter to join a team with 500 followers. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Now it's like you have teams like FaZe and Soar. Like FaZe just recruited Mutus, FaZe. Granted, he has like a large following over the past like years or so, but then they also recruited Kaz, and he has like a couple thousand followers. He's like 5,000 followers on Twitter when I saw him get announced. And then
Yep.
on Twitch, I think he has like the same amount.
He
He
had like
probably has
300, and now then he got like 900, I think, in a day, which is
one
pretty
on
crazy.
Twitch.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like it's really I fucking love it when teams do that. It's
Mhm.
just it means a lot.
Yeah, and what people have to notice is that the when you get into a team like a small member, it's gonna seem like it's kind of gonna seem like you as a smaller creator and a smaller person compared to other people that are in the team, you might feel like you're not you shouldn't be in the team, but you have to remember that like the fact that you got in.
They saw you. They thought that you fit in with the team. They thought that you met the criteria to join the team.
Mhm.
They thought that you were good enough to be in the team.
Yeah.
And I don't think that a lot of people understand that. It's like like if I ever joined Dare, like the day that that ever fucking happens, if that ever fucking happens,
Mhm.
the day that I join any form of a large team, like Dare, Obey, that's
Mhm.
not gonna happen anytime soon though because I haven't been grinding for Obey as much as I have Dare.
Mhm.
But it's like if I were to join Dare, Obey, Hype, Soar, I don't know,
You-
for like the first week, maybe even month, I probably like not only would I be like a new member, but if you're a new member in the team, you're obviously going to stand out a lot to begin with. But then to be so small, like follower wise or just following wise, it makes you stand out even more, if you ask me. Because it's like people will look at you, and then it's like it makes you think like, are they just looking at me and thinking like, wow, this dude just doesn't deserve to be in the team. He's not a somebody. It's like I don't know. It's just it annoys me,
yeah,
like
yeah.
thought process that I have about this kind of stuff and how other people think about it. And Mixo actually quoted someone, I think it was Astronova on Twitter. She was like, "Oh, how you react after an RC result
Oh, I
get put
saw
up
that. Yeah.
really like shows who you are as a person."
Mhm.
And then Mixo quoted, he was like, "For real, some of you designers don't know how to like keep your chill and all that." And then
Mhm.
it just really like that's when I really noticed it. It was like after someone could be grinding for an RC forever. Like let's say Dare put out an RC, right?
Right.
Say they put out an RC right fucking now.
Mhm.
Someone could grind that shit. Be like, there's my ultimate goal, this and that. And I know that kind of sounds like what I was saying, and it is what I was saying, but I'm just using that as an example. But
Mhm.
someone could say all that, and then once the RC results get announced, if it wasn't them who gets in, they're gonna immediately think like, wow, they just didn't even notice me. And it's like then they go on this whole streak. It's like, oh, um, you know, to think I was grinding all this time for a team that was never even going to notice me to begin with. It's like so many people have that mindset. It's not a good mindset to have at all. Just because you didn't get in or you didn't get what you expected out of it doesn't mean that they didn't notice you. Like Dare has said this so many times because so many people ask it in like each of the streams. Like, oh, how often do you guys pick up new streamers, or when are you guys gonna pick up new streamers? And then they all say the same thing. We're always looking for streamers. Just stay consistent, stand out, and then you just gotta wait till the time comes. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. Some people just don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I feel like another way to really like grow and help you out is like as a designer, I think is even though you want to get paid work and have people commission you and everything, it's always
Yeah.
good to try and experiment and try and do work for others that may need it. Like for example, if someone's looking for a thumbnail, like for example, like Obey Nix or just someone in general,
Mm.
you could try doing one for free, see if they like it, and then if they do, they can try and say like, wow, they'll recognize you, they'll see who you are, and obviously, that's not like that's kind of like a cheap way to grow because if you're just gonna rely on that, it's not the best option. But it
Yeah.
will like help you and boost your
In the
confidence
long run, yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Now, okay, I'm not sure if you're okay with it. Are you cool if like I talk about like when you messaged me about Nix and all that?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, so Gabby messaged me because she was in a Discord with like Nick's fan Discord. I didn't
Mhm.
know that he had one. I'm sitting here watching the videos like, oh, I mean, if I was on a Discord with my, I could send my work. Then maybe I get noticed by someone in the Discord. Maybe I'll get like a client or two, or
Mhm.
like I'll get noticed by someone. Something like that.
Right.
And for the most part, now that I'm actually in it, I don't really care about advertising my work. It's just like if I see people are typing, I'll type in the chat like, "Yo, what's going on, guys?" And then I'll be like, "Oh, yo, anybody want to like play duos or a squad or something?"
Hmm.
But for the most part, what happened was Gabby messaged me. She was like, "Oh, Nick just said this in his Discord, and it was like, oh, I need I need not need, but he was just saying like, oh, anybody with the Galaxy skin, hit me up, this that, and then the second one was that he needed help with like thumbnail stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, I got hyped the fuck up because I was like, wow, this is my fucking chance,
Mhm.
and it wasn't even that like I was thinking like, because he said in the thing like, oh, I'm willing to,
To pay or.
yeah, to pay for like your work or your service. But that wasn't even the first thing that like clicked in my mind. I was like, "What? Well, why'd be getting paid from fucking Obey Nix?" The first thing
Mhm.
that I thought it was like, "Fuck, man, I can do what I love for someone that like I genuinely enjoy their content."
Mhm.
Because it's like when I was smaller, obviously, not many people notice me, and I don't get to talk to like these fucking big, huge, people with
Yeah.
massive followings like Smacks, Tanzer, people like them.
Mhm.
And now it's like I'm getting noticed by them. Like I'm even being considered a fucking friend to Smacks and fucking who
Oh
knows
yeah, yeah.
who else. It's like it just makes me think like, wow, I've come really far if I'm being acknowledged by someone in Dare. Hell, being acknowledged as someone's friend in Dare. It's like it sounds really stupid and it sounds like I'm really fanboying it.
Oh, but it's
I
it's pretty
probably am.
crazy though.
Yeah,
Like.
it just like it really does make me happy to see that like I've come so far to the point where it's like I'm getting acknowledged by people who are this high up.
Mhm.
It's just crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like it makes me even happier to see like because I actually do get DMs and I never thought that I'd ever get DMs like this until like the day that would probably I don't see ever happening if you ask me.
Mhm.
But I've getting DMs about like, oh, dude, I love your graphics, dude. It really inspired me to come back, or it really inspired me to like get better.
Oh
Just
yeah.
it really makes me like happy to see someone like you who was so small and now is like fuck not as big, but still up there.
Yeah.
But like I never thought I'd ever see messages like that on my DMs until like if I ever joined like Soul or like one of these big teams.
Mhm.
But to think I'm not even in a team. I've been at 700 something followers for like a year and a half now. I didn't think I'd ever even be getting a DM saying like your work is fucking great, dude. But
Mhm.
I'm getting DMs like that. I'm getting DMs like, oh my god, dude, you inspire me. It's like it's amazing. I love it. It's
Yeah.
like it probably sounds really cheesy saying that, and I 100% does to me at least. But it just it makes me happy to see that people actually look at my work. They're like, wow, wow, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's always like crazy to see people just like they're kind of treating you like people like something that you never thought of, someone that's like
Yeah,
actually part of something big. So it's pretty great. But yeah, if you want, we can talk about like certain teams face or in general.
sure.
So I mean, obviously, I don't know. I would say most people now know about the Phase 5 going on, and as
Yeah.
of now, they only, I think, released 3 people.
No, no,
There's,
no. So they've okay. So Phase 5 is coming out sometime soon, I think.
mhm,
And in since that's all happening, they're announcing 5 new Phase members. Like I think like every day, and like as of now, or like 5 days in a row.
mhm,
And first one was Mew, and I swear to God, he deserved that so much.
mhm,
Like he's been grinding for so long.
for sure, yeah.
Second one was Kaz.
Mhm,
I personally I didn't hear of him until he joined Phase, but nonetheless, it's good to see someone so small get the recognition that they most likely deserve.
mhm,
I'm not gonna say like he 100% does deserve it because I don't know him. I didn't know him until the thing announced until Phase announced him.
mhm,
So he could 100% have grinded for longer than Mew. I don't know,
mhm,
but nonetheless, congratulations to the two. Now Mew is streaming right now. I think he's still streaming. But when I was in his stream, he was getting asked like, "Oh, who's the third Phase member that's getting announced today?"
mhm,
And he was like, he only knows the member that's getting announced today, but the other two he doesn't know.
mhm.
So,
That's pretty interesting. Like,
but everybody was saying like, "Oh, it's this dude." I don't know who the dude was. I don't know how to say his name, but hey,
yeah, people, I don't know. So a lot of people like know, or some people have a lot of good speculations, and they know exactly who's next, and it's like really weird because I think they Yellow. Have you heard of Yellow before?
is that a team?
It's someone that joined Phase not too long ago, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he got
But when
officially
you said
announced.
yellow, I've never heard like I always hear people call him Yelo or something like that. So like I
Really?
got used to hearing him like that.
Mm. But yeah,
Oh,
I
new
th-
store members got announced. Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry,
oh
sorry.
oh,
Go, go, go.
I think they like officially announced him today with the montage and everything. So I'm I definitely think it's really interesting how FaZe is doing all this now, and with that, I'm pretty sure there's also a parallel RC going on. So they
Wait, that's
and
going on? I
par-
thought that was gonna come out Wednesday.
oh no. Well, basically they released a video earlier explaining a few things, but the
Oh no, no,
full
I know that. I know
yeah
that.
the full thing is
Oh,
coming. But people are still getting ready for it.
FaZe just dropped that new member, and he's a console player.
Oh, let me just check it out.
FaZe Noisy.
No, see, like nobody expected that. I don't. At least I don't think they think it's Orba,
Yeah,
and
that was the name of the
yeah,
dude.
and they thought I think they thought it was someone else, but I don't remember. But yeah, nobody like knew. I've never heard anyone say this guy's name.
I mean, I don't want to say that like nobody's. I don't want to make people think that we don't think anybody knows him. But
Right.
like when we say this kind of stuff, like, oh, we didn't know who this guy was. That's just us.
Right. Right.
Like these people have like thousands of followers. That like a bunch of people know who they are and think that they deserve a lot.
Mhm.
We just happen to be some of the people who don't know who they are. Not
Mhm.
saying they don't deserve a lot. They 100% do. If they're in faith, they must be good enough.
Yeah, yeah. Like everyone thought it was Orba, but instead it's Noisy. Like that's amazing to see actually, because so many people think it's one person that obviously I'm sure deserves it as much as this guy Noisy does. But the fact that nobody expected this guy to join is crazy. Like
Mm.
I've never seen him, and it's like great that they're giving people recognition.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
another thing. It's like when it comes down to like people getting announced, like it's like just out of the blue,
Mhm.
or just like people getting hyped up. It's like, oh my god, like like when Dare, like when the artistry for Dare announces says like, oh, in a couple of minutes we're gonna be announcing like a bunch of people, or like we're gonna be announcing a new member. It's like everybody's hyping up. They're like, oh my god, it's gonna be this person. It's gonna be this person. It's gonna be this person.
Yeah.
It's like I always get hyped for that, no matter what.
Mhm.
It's like there's still that small chance that it could be me, even if it's like a surprise. Because I'm assuming that they would DM the person, be like, "Oh yeah, did you want to join Dare as a designer?" And then they'd announce it later on, and then the person would tweet out like, "Hey, I joined Dare."
Right.
But when it comes down to stuff like that, it makes me think to myself, it's like all these people are saying like, "Oh, it's gonna be this person who's gonna join Dare as a designer. This person, this person." It
Mhm.
just makes me think. It's like nobody's saying me because they don't know who I am.
Mhm.
Like they haven't made a name for themselves. or I haven't made like the biggest name for myself like at all. These
Right.
people have like their work is absolutely amazing compared to my work. Like I'm not saying that like I'm bad because it's gotten to the point where it's like if I say I'm bad, I get like everybody hates me then.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know, just like, and I just want to clarify this. Whenever I say I'm bad, it's just like it's not because I think that oh my god, dude, I'm the worst. It's nothing like that. It's just I hate saying yeah, my work is pretty good because then it just makes I don't know, it just I hate saying that because then it makes me seem like like I have a big ass ego. It's like yeah, my work is amazing or my work is really good, and then I don't know, I just hate saying it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, if you see me post something on Twitter or if like in a Discord saying like, no, I'm garbage at designing, it's not really me saying it as a joke, and it's not me really saying it to be serious. It's just me saying, sorry, like I don't get mad at myself.
Mhm.
But other than that, it's just the slight chance that every time they tweet something out like, oh, we're gonna be announcing a new member, it's just the slight chance that it could be me gets me excited. But even when it's not me, it still makes me think like, wow,
It could
maybe
be.
one day.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, like I said, all the people say like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this person, it's gonna be this person, it's gonna be that person. It's like they all know who that person is because they've gained somewhat of a following.
Mhm.
Me, nobody's really heard of me. I mean that like in the best way possible, but like when I made Tanzer a face cam, and
Mhm.
then a couple I don't know if it was a couple hours, but like an hour or so later, he DM'd me. He's like, oh dude, can you send this my way? I said, yeah, sure, dude. I send it to him and all that, and then this DM I've sent around so many times in chats and to people, and Gabby can vouch for me on that because she knows
Yeah.
I've sent it in the group chat like 5 fucking times. But Tanzer sends me a message a couple minutes after. He goes, "Dude, thank you so much. This thing is like amazing. Like you're way too underrated, dude. Just keep grinding, keep improving, and just you wait." And the minute I finished reading that, it just got me so hyped up. It got me so happy because it made me think to myself, it's like, wow, I was sitting here thinking nobody knew who I was. Nobody figured I'm gonna be able to get anywhere with like Dare or anything like that. And then just seeing that message where he says I'm too underrated in that, I just need to keep grinding and keep improving, and then I just gotta see what happens. It was just like it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
genuinely made my day.
yeah, for sure. Honestly, like anyone from a bigger org that reaches out to younger or not younger, but like just people grinding for their team, motivating them. It's something that I think people don't normally expect. So getting that kind of message is always like a motivation to people. So it's great. But also, I just realized one of my he's not really a friend, but one of the people I've spoken to before, he's he signed a two-way contract to Florida Mayhem in the Overwatch League and the Contenders team. So it's really interesting how that
Wait,
just
who?
happened. His name is Apply. Here, I'll send you the tweet, but I don't know. It was just interesting to see that because he was in their Contenders team.
Hmm.
So it's interesting, but
Wait, he's in the contenders team or the main?
well, he's in the Contenders team, but I think just now he signed a two-way contract to the Contenders and the Overwatch League team.
Hmm.
So it's like a weird thing, but it's cool. That's just an quick Overwatch related thing. Um, let's
Ah,
see.
man.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of I would think that's all I have to say about teams and stuff.
What about when it comes to like Fortnite as an esport?
I think it's great to see people on. Okay, the thing about Fortnite is people get on certain teams for certain reasons. Like FaZe, Mew is a great trick shotter. He's known for his trick shots. Same with Kaz. Like I think they're mainly known for their trick shots, which is great. There's some people in scrims and stuff that are amazing at the actual game besides trick shotting. I'm not saying Mew and Kaz are trash at the game. I'm positive that they're great players, but with scrims and everything, I think those kinds of people are the people that are more recognized for how good they are at the game than the trick shotters that do really cool stuff. So I think
Hmm.
it's really cool to see people doing different things in a game that can incorporate into a team, which is like something about Fortnite that is actually really different because you have Overwatch, which is obviously they have different game modes, but there's not really anything different you can do, you know? in terms of trick shotting and stuff that Fortnite has. So I think it's really awesome to see how that's incorporated in teams, and like how the concept of trick shotting and scrims and stuff is incorporated. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
I mean, Fortnite is an esport. I can see it working out in the long run, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, in its current state, I don't think it can do the best it could do. Because now, like, if they had done it like when the like this is probably stupid to say, but like when the game first came out, right? If they did like, oh yeah, this is gonna be an esport right now, or we're gonna provide funding for it and all that, like now,
Mhm.
it probably would have worked out a bit better than it is now. Because at this point, it's kind of like, at first it was like, oh yeah, you get into a build battle, and it's like you rely on pure skill to see who wins. Oh my god, dude, this is like, it would actually be entertaining. You're like on the edge of your seat, like, oh my god, who's gonna win this build battle?
Mhm.
But now it's just kind of like, you just see someone get into a build battle with another, like two pros getting into a build battle, do a bunch of damage to each other at like one health each, and then just a random kid just comes out of nowhere and C4s the bottom of their builds, and then game over.
Hmm.
It's like there's really, if you ask me, and I know a lot of people say this, it just doesn't seem like there's much skill in the game anymore. It's just, oh, there's a build battle. Oh, there's an RPG. Oh, here's some more explosives.
Yeah.
Guess I'll kill them. It's just, it's not as interesting anymore to watch.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. It's just annoying.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that go into, I think, Fortnite as like a whole esport. So it's, I don't know. It's interesting to see the way that people are like using different things um to the pro scene and everything, and also like the way that they did during the skirmishes and stuff.
Mm,
So I think that's a cool concept that they have.
yeah. Um, I actually wanted to like touch up on this before, when you're talking like parallel, and then we were talking about like organizations and all that.
Mhm.
Um, what you call it? I noticed. I didn't know who the fuck Gorb was until you started like streaming with him and all that. Uh,
Yeah.
but
So
I'll touch up on that more. Just give me a minute.
yeah, go ahead. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss more about like parallel and stuff, and how that RC is going and everything. But yeah, I'm not really sure how the entire RC is gonna work just yet. But I know that I'm pretty positive there's a main part to it, which is the squad montage, and I don't think I'm gonna be going for that. I tried setting one up, but personally, I think that doing a squad montage is great, but I think you need to have good chemistry with everyone on the team, and you have to know them well in order to do well and perform well. Because I tried putting together a team where I knew the people, but they didn't really know each other that well, so it didn't work out. And so that's why I think I'm gonna be going as a solo for the RC, just trying to join as a streamer. And I know that like the squad montage is definitely like something that you would have an advantage in joining and just showing, but I think I'm gonna try and show try and do my own montage kind of thing, or join as a streamer. So that's my perspective on it.
Mhm. No, I'm sorry. I didn't really hear most of that, but I'm gonna assume you went on about like how parallel RC,
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
be going for it. You
Mhm.
were
Yep, yep.
okay, but yeah. So like I was saying about Gorb, I didn't know who he was until like you start streaming with him. And I was like, oh, cool. He's in parallel, and then I figured
Mhm.
like you're getting pretty close. You're 100% gonna join sometime soon. And
Yeah.
then I noticed in one of Nick's videos, he started playing with Gorb at one point. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's my dog.
Mhm. But yeah.
But yeah, so then I noticed Nick was playing with him more and more often, and then eventually I was like, yeah, no, Gorb is 100% going to join Obey. Like it's like he's a fucking beast at the game.
Mhm.
There's no way that like he's playing with Nick. He's a beast. It's
Mhm.
like he's getting noticed. He's getting all this like all these videos that Nick had with Gorb, and still probably uploads them with
Mhm.
him like pretty frequently, I'd assume. But it's like they got so many views, and it was like people really liked Gorb, and then eventually I saw people commenting. It was like, "Oh my god, when is Gorb gonna join Obey or something like that?"
Mhm.
But it was like once I saw Gorb doing videos with Nick, I was just like, "There's no way that he's not joining Obey."
Yeah, it's kind of what a lot of people
So then
expected,
when
I
the
think.
day came, and I was like, "Oh shit, he joined Obey." I was like, you know, it surprised me, yeah, but it was kind of like I expected it, but
Mhm.
it definitely makes me like really think about that kind of stuff because it was like he went from I'm not saying Parallel is like a shitty org because it at 100% it's like probably one of the best smaller orgs out there right now.
Mhm.
But like it's crazy to see someone go from like something like Parallel to fucking Obey.
Mhm.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like I don't know.
I also think it's mainly because he's known Nyx for a long time, and he was in a team with him before. He was in Red with him, so the fact.
What?
Hmm?
Wait, what?
So Gorb was a part of a different org, before. It's called Red, and Nyx was
Red
also in Red.
Reserve?
Yeah, yeah, and Nyx
Oh
was
yeah, I
also in
remember
Red.
that.
So yeah, that's how they knew each other. And I think after they started doing their own thing, they started talking a lot more again. I mean, this is what I think. They started to play it together more often, and then that's when people already knew like Gorb as a player was like really suitable for Obey.
Hmm.
So
But
yeah.
yeah, so it's just kind of like, seeing, now knowing that Gold was in Red, which was a incredibly large organization,
Mhm.
but seeing him go from like Parallel, something really small,
Mhm.
to something like Obey, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Now, 100% Gorb deserves it. He's a fucking beast. It's just amazing, and it
Mhm.
just really made me think. It's like, wow, I can 100% do it. I can 100% get in there.
Yeah, yeah. Like for the past month or two, he's went from like 2K subscribers on YouTube to I think almost 30K, and and
Yeah,
he
I've
was
seen that. That's actually insane.
yeah, and he was averaging like 20 or 30 viewers, and now he has like 100 at a time. It's pretty nuts. But if you really work at what you're doing and like you become really good at it, and you what you think is good and you want to share that with people, and I think that's definitely something that people should do. They should share it out. They should think whatever they think is good they should do, and you know that's what's going to get you where you want to be. But um yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to add onto like the whole thing with orgs and stuff, 'cause I think we covered a lot about that.
Yeah. I mean, I just is just something I want to touch up on,
Yeah.
but I know I've said this in like I think both of the past episodes, but I've noticed that more as of recently,
Mhm.
like all the people who like I follow who also follow these designers and stuff. It's like I'm seeing a bunch of stuff on my timeline where it's just like the same stuff
Mhm.
and it's just getting stale at this point. It's like it's still getting like a lot of support, and I don't mind if it's getting a lot of support because by all means, if it's good, it's good. Support it if you want. I don't mind if you support it. If you like it, you like it. But
Right.
it's just getting to the point where it's like me personally. Whenever I see someone post something on Twitter and it's like the same style of header, it just gets stale.
Yeah.
It's like at first, like I saw this one style of header. I don't know how to describe it, but it looked really nice. And then everybody started doing it because they noticed. Well, I'm assuming they noticed like, oh, people like that style. I'll do it. So
Mhm.
now it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's just, mm,
Yeah, I think what was I going to say? If you want to stand out and you want to be do your own thing, I think there's a few artists that really have their own style, and you can tell it's whatever's made by them is made by them.
oh yeah,
And
100%.
yeah, like if you want to establish your own thing, it's going to take a lot of time and creativity to come up with, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find something that will make me like stand out, and it's so hard to come up with something original, but once you do, it's insane how much people might be able to notice you. So, if you just try your best to like keep trying to think of something or keep trying to be your own person, then it'll pay off.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. So I guess that's it. Unless you want to talk about anything else.
Not really. No, I can't really think of anything else.
All right. Well, yeah.
Actually, wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so when it comes, I know I've asked you this a lot, and I just want to make sure that, like, I want to make sure that if you're gonna say you're gonna stick to one thing, I want to make sure that you actually stick to it,
Yep.
because a lot of people, like, this is also going back somewhat to what I said before about like how people react after RCs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever somebody like grinds for something or whatever, and then like if like I said, there was an RC going on for like let's say Soar right now, which it just ended, so it's probably not the best example. But like let's say Soar had another RC right now.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of that RC, I feel like the people who like I said, once they can see like, oh, I didn't get in, they're gonna be like, oh no, why did I waste my time? And then they just give up. It's like they act like as if they won't be able to get another opportunity like that again. Like Soar's gonna have more RCs 100% down the road. There's other teams that you can go for the time being, see if they'll notice you, and then once you're in, one of those, if anything, you get noticed by the bigger people.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I wanted to know, like, how's your grind for parallel going?
Honestly, even if I don't get in for the RC and how everything's going, I I mean, this is kind of like an obvious answer that a lot of people would expect that I'm gonna keep trying to grind for it, but it's not even that. It's just the fact that like I know a lot of the people in there. I'm friends with some of the parallel people that are in the actual group, and them as people are just like people that are worthy to have friends as, and it's just so great to see that that they recognize me as a person. So I think I'm always gonna be with parallel as like at least at the very least a viewer and someone that supports them. So I think me just going for the team because I like it so much and how they support each other is just like I think that's gonna be my goal from now on until I'm not gonna join an org until I join parallel is what I'm trying to say.
So wait, okay, this is probably a really dumb question, but when you say you're not going to join another org until you join parallel,
Mhm.
if like Dare were to approach you,
Mhm.
what would you say?
I
Because I
don't
mean, if you
know.
if you don't want to join Dare before like you join parallel, that's 100% your choice. I don't mind if you don't want to. I just want to know.
I mean, I would. In all honesty, I'd probably say like I appreciate the offer, but I don't know too much about Dare right now, so I'm probably
Mm,
gonna think about it or let you guys know in the future. Because as much as I love Dare and love Soar and FaZe, I don't know as much about them as much as I know about Parallel. So the fact that I know
yeah.
Parallel more as a team is why I'd want to go for the RC as much as I do. So it's just a matter of how you see things and stuff.
Yeah. No, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but I think I've told you this one time when you were streaming. I was saying how it's like, even though Dare is my dream team, it's like even if I don't get in there in the next year, the next 2 years, I won't care.
Mhm.
But it's like if I'm able to get the opportunity to join like a team, like let's say this, I next month, I post something really good, I do what I do, I take the link and I send in like the promotion chats in the Discord that I'm in.
Mhm.
Like let's just say I send in the parallel Discord self promotion channel, then I get a message from like Summon or Coins or someone like that, and
Right.
like, oh yo dude, we've seen your art, dude, you're pretty good,
Mhm.
want to join? It's like I'd fucking take that offer, just because it's not there doesn't mean I'm not gonna accept it. Like I've
Right.
gotten invited to a bunch of teams. Like when I say that, I don't mean like, oh yeah, I've gotten invited to like 2 teams in the last 5 months. No, I've gotten invited to like 3 teams, like maybe like this month or like the last 2 months,
Mhm.
and it's like I 100% would have accepted them, but they were either extremely small organizations that obviously didn't know what they were doing, and I didn't want to be a part of something that could. I don't want to be mean, but
Mhm.
I don't want to be a part of something that like would most likely fall apart
Right.
like so soon. It's like I don't care. You could have like 500 followers. You could have 50 followers. If
Mhm.
your organization or team is well put together, it can stand. It can it can do well. I'd
Mhm.
be down to join it. But there's things that like you need to understand. It's like if you approach a player obviously a player is different than a designer. If you're gonna approach someone, like if Parallel were to approach me, actually no, not Parallel. If one of these teams were to approach a player, right? Like let's say they approach you,
Mhm.
like, hey, did you want to join the team? You don't need to worry about you getting paid for your work because streaming. Obviously, if you're an affiliate or a partner, you get paid a little bit from that, and then on top of donations and bits, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But then as a designer, I feel like it's kind of like these smaller teams think that like, oh yeah, this guy is really good. If we ask him and he says yes, we don't need to like pay him. It's like no, 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 no. If I join, you guys still need to pay. So like that's where like I messed up when I like joined some of these older teams that I was in.
Right, right.
They'd all be like, "Oh, did you want to join?" I'd be like, "Sure." And, like they were well put together. They seemed like they could do well.
Mhm.
And then I was wrong. And they fell apart like the next week and a half. But for the time that I was in them, it was just kind of like I got DMs from the members. It was like, "Oh, yo, dude, can you make me a header? Can you make me an icon? Can you make me this? Can you make me that?" And I'm just saying like, I mean, I'm in the team. Shouldn't I be getting paid? And then they'd fall apart, and it
Mhm.
just made me think. It's like, okay, yeah, no, if I'm going to get invited to a team, I want to make sure that they can stand on their own for a bit before actually seeing if I want to be a part of it. So
Yeah.
now it's like, even I hate doing this because it's so annoying having to do this because I know I hated when people would do this to me.
Mhm.
But it's like people will approach me like, hey, did you want to join my team as like lead designer or as a designer? And then obviously first question I ask is like, oh, what's the team? They send me the team. I look at it. It's like, oh, okay. And then my second follow up question would be, and will I be paid for my work or my services for the team? And then they're like, oh, sorry, no, but we were hoping that like you would join, and then you'd get some form of exposure. And it's just like
Yeah, I mean,
designers aren't doing this for exposure for the most part. It's like I don't care if I don't get paid. Like if I join Dare, right,
mhm.
and I get paid for doing work for them every now and again. That's fine because it's like it's one of those teams where it's like yeah, you're getting exposure from it, but they're like their name is really like big. So when they hear like, oh, someone in Dare made this header, then that brings them to
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously that sounds a bit like stupid. And you're like, oh yeah, you just want to join Dare for exposure. No, I want to join Dare because I've been grinding for it.
Yeah, yeah, that
But
that makes
it's just
sense.
I just hate people who DM me and be like, oh, do you want to join the team? And then I to find out I'm not going to be getting paid for doing like work for them.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know. It's just if you're gonna form an organization or a team, you should at least be able to like fund it. You're not well, funding would probably be a better term to use for like pro teams and all that. But when it
Mhm.
comes down to like designs and stuff, if you're gonna form a team, you should at least be able to pay for work that they're gonna be doing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get the fact that, like, being paid and stuff is a big part of it, but you don't always have to be paid for what you
Oh
do
yeah.
just because, it's being a part of an organization and everything. But it's understandable, being a designer and being a part of a small organization, it's kind of like you don't really need to provide for the people if you don't know them too well, if you don't, if they're not really doing much for you at the moment. So I think if you join an org that really does help you out, then you might as well, return the favor and help them as well. Kind of like if you
Yeah.
were to join an org and they're trying to, like, for example, let's just say it was Parallel and they're helping you
Mhm.
grow, and you're a part of, you really like being a part of that organization and everything, but and they need art, then you can provide because you enjoy being in their presence, which is like,
Oh hell yeah.
yeah, like for sure that's something that should always happen. But it's completely understandable that random teams like that, or just teams that you just joined that are much smaller, it wouldn't be that way. So
Yeah.
that's kind of
Like
something I get.
I don't know if this isn't all teams. So
Yeah,
if you watch this and then you're thinking like, oh, he's talking about all the teams that are small and shit.
yeah.
I hate like I hate joining like these smaller teams, and then the minute that you join it, they immediately think like, "Oh, yo, we're best friends now." Like I've known you for like a year. It's
Mhm.
like, no, you've known me for like 5 seconds. I just joined the group chat.
Mhm.
It's like they act like they're your best friend. It's like if I don't know you, I don't know you. You can talk to me more. You can grow your bond with me or friendship. I don't know.
Yeah.
But don't immediately think that I'm your best friend just because we're in the same team.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Hmm.
like, like when it comes to like Dare and all that, I'm friends with a couple people in Dare, so it's like if I join that and then they're like, "Oh, yo, what's up, buddy?" It's like I wouldn't care. I've known you for like a month and a half or a couple of months now. It's like I don't care. We're friends.
Hmm.
But if I join a team that I know nothing about or know nobody in the team, and then someone says, "Oh, yo, hey, pal, what's up?" It's like, don't call me pal. I just joined. I don't know you.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Understandable. Um, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's all. Unless again you want to talk about something.
yeah,
Yeah. So, we've talked about a variety of things, I think, and like, yeah, it's pretty long. We did pretty good. Hopefully you
I
guys
feel like I
enjoyed it.
ranted and repeated myself a lot, and I probably did.
I
But
feel like
if
I
I did,
did
I
too.
apologize.
Yeah, I feel like I did too. But it's all good. We had a good talk. We covered good topics, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yet again, we're gonna try our absolute best to like pump out videos for the podcast, but this is more of like a side project thing that we're gonna work
Yeah,
on over time to just like
yeah,
archive stuff.
we have
So
our focuses as of right now. Like Gabby's is parallel RC streaming, all that.
right,
Mine
right.
right now is designing.
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, alongside school and all that, we don't have as much time. So if you just be patient, and we will try our absolute best to get these videos out as soon as possible, or not as soon as possible, but as much as we can.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, so this is just something that we'd like to do for fun. So it's great if you guys would, leave your feedback, any other topics you want us to cover in the future, and yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Uh, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode, and leave in the comments if you want any specific guests or anything. So yeah,
Yeah,
okay, see you guys later.
farewell.